Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy. So I decided to combine my Friday reads with my March TBR, and we're going to see how this goes. So I'm first going to go over the books that I'm currently reading or in the middle of, and then the books that I'm going to start today are be reading in the month of March. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace because I am trying to work on that for a deep dive. Just know that it's about tennis and drugs and David Foster Wallace just writing as David Foster Wallace. And then The Old Man, the Sea. I'm not talking about that so much because I am not very deep within it. I'm still reading the Spanish version and trying to translate that into English and then comparing. So it's, granted, while I am reading The Old Man, the Sea along with it, it's more as a learning for me to learn the language of Spanish. Now for other books that I'm currently in the middle of. The first one is The Monkey Idol, which is a Decker and Callie adventure by K.D. McNiven. And this is an archaeological type adventure. Kind of think of it in terms like Indiana Jones, except for they don't have, the whip. And they don't, they so far have not been chased by boulders. I'm halfway through this book. It's a little bit lackluster for me, mainly because the two main characters just are a little bit too perfect. Now, it's not a horrible read, so I'm not putting it down. I'm not DNFing it. I'm going to go through and see, if it picks up in the last half or if things change, but we'll see how it goes. The next book is Delirium by Lauren Oliver, and this is set in a world where love is considered a disease, and scientists have found a way to cure that love thing. So the main character, so far as that I've read, which is I think just the first chapter, is very excited at the prospect of her not having to fall in love. She's very much like, love. This cure that's given for love isn't given until they're 18, so she's kind of counting down the days until she's 18 so that she can get rid of that pesky. Books that I am starting today: Smoke and Summons by Charlie N. Holmberg. This is a fantasy world where there is a human named Sandus who is a vessel for this ancient spirit who can turn into a whole lot of weapons. I've just started reading, I think, the first page. We're going to see how this goes. I have a feeling it's going to go fantastically because already I'm just hooked in as far as plot line, and I'm very excited. And then I think, if I could turn into a weapon, what weapon would I turn into? And probably not a deadly weapon because I'm not, a dangerous person at all. I'm kind of very fluffy on the inside and the outside a little bit, like. So I think probably like a spitball, like a straw to spitball. The next book I'm hoping to start today is one that I should have read in February for Blackathon, but I didn't get to it. Pride by E.B. Zaboy, which is a Pride and Prejudice. I heard it's a remix, retelling, re-something. It's set in a modern day era with people of color, and I think that's fabulous. I love Pride and Prejudice, and I love Pride and Prejudice retellings, remixes, re-whatevers. So yes, any world where there is a lady telling a dude that, it's nice that you're proposing, but no. Because she thinks he's rude. I'm down for it. I'm down. Politely, telling people off. So I'm excited for this, and I think this will be a quick read for me. It's under 300 pages, and, the font size and spacing lead me to suspect that it won't take me very long once I actually start this book. I hope that's the case. Now, the next book I'm going to talk about, I am going to start today as well, and that makes me realize I'm going to be juggling 5 books at once, but that's okay. The next book that I'm reading is one that I'm very excited about, mainly because I'm going to be reading it with some badass ladies. And that is Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. Now, I was inspired to read this book by my friend Amy at Amy Gets Lit because she is very passionate about this book. She's passionate enough about this book to do deep dives, pretty much by groups of chapters. I will link her channel in the description below, but she goes over chapter by chapter, and she gives kind of what is happening during that book. She gives a helpful guide through this book. I decided to read this for March, and I asked if anyone would want to read along with me, and 5 gloriously badass ladies answered my call. The first one is Jamie from Jamie Reads. The second is Sasha from Well Read and Half Dead, Cami from Cami's Corner, Carissa from Carissa Quinn, and last but certainly not least, Jen from Iffer's Inklings. All of us are banding together to read Blood Meridian and to have some major discourse on this book. We will, of course, be using Amy's videos as guides, and you can always find discussion in her comment section of those videos. So, by all means, read this along with us and go comment in those videos. I will also be talking about this on Twitter if you want to follow discussions there. I will be using the hashtag Blood Meridian March. I was originally going to have it be hashtag BMM, but then I was like, what if that stands for Bowel Movement Madness? I don't want to be mixed up in that. And the last book that I'm going to be reading in March, but I'm actually not starting today, hoo-ha, is The Enemy Gods by Oliver Lafarge. And I'm buddy reading this with Joe from Joe Francis Burton and Michelle from Challenge Thyself. I will be linking their channels in the description below as well. This book is pretty much about a young man who goes to a mission school, who he's Navajo, and he has to kind of figure things out for himself as far as between his mission school and, you know, the people that he is from, the ancient ways of his people. This book was brought up to me by Joe. He had been wanting to do a New Mexican classics read-along, and I wanted to join in because that's the state I'm in, and I'm very interested. So I think this will be very interesting. Now, as I said, I'm not going to be reading this until March 15th, because hopefully I will have all those other books finished by then. I have a feeling I'm just a crazy person who just keeps piling books onto herself, but that's okay. We'll get through it. One way or another, this will get done. If any of those books are interesting to you, by all means, you can read along with me or comment down in the description below if you've read any of those books and what did you think about them. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button. If you like seeing my face talk about books, click that subscribe button. And as always and forever, may you get lost in a book.